Hello and welcome again to Alleyway Conversations. Once again, I'm Patrick.
And I'm apparently Andrew. Wow! I'm the one who makes the beginning joke. That's weird.
Ha-ha! And once again, we have CJ with us.
Yeah, I'm here.
We just kidnapped him for work. I'm like, you know what? You don't even get an option anymore. You're just on the podcast now.
Actually, I've been kidnapped. You just kind of let me out of the basement.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, make sure Levi doesn't get out, alright? We don't want him.
Right? I didn't even know you were in a basement. That is a very roomy basement.
I can't let Levi out. He's my only company there.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
His wife and kids miss him terribly.
They'll never know. I still visit them regularly. I'm sorry, there's been no updates. Shut up down there!
He's still missing. Supposedly, the Cuban Mafia went after him. That's what we're going with? Alright.
Is there such a thing as a Cuba? Does every country have a mafia?
More or less.
Huh? Alright then. So, one of the things that we're looking forward to is we're getting more subscribers. We're getting more views.
Yeah, there's more people listening to us.
In fact, CJ, tell them what you told us.
Which part?
The one with your girlfriend.
Yeah, so a lot of people are familiar with a popular Neeps Gaming channel.
I do love it.
Yeah, we based a lot of our podcasts around the Neebs cast.
My girlfriend, who is not subscribed to your guys' channel at all, we was watching Neeps Gaming on our YouTube TV thing, and the video was over. We scrolled down and looked for more videos, and under a recommendation list was your guys' video, like saying, hey, since you like Neeps Gaming, check out these guys, and it was your recent video, C days back.
Yeah. I just find it amazing. We have, at the moment that we checked, less than 200 subscribers. Neebs Gaming has somewhere around, I think the last I heard, like 3.5 to 4 million.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty close, you know.
Oh, yeah. Just a hop, skip, and a jump, and we'll be there.
Yeah.
They always say the first million's the hardest.
Well, I don't know how to answer that. I have no comeback for that.
Fair enough. No, it's a very small milestone by YouTube standards, but it's still something we're both really excited about.
We have been talking about this since we heard about it, Tuesday? We've been really excited since Tuesday. And I'm like, we gotta get back in the booth. We gotta get to record. Okay, I say booth, it is a small laptop sitting next to my bed.
Yeah, we've actually downgraded. Now we don't even have a desktop because that went kaput.
Yeah, I mean, my desktop was like 11 years old and all the parts and stuff in it most of them were old. So the fact that it kind of died doesn't really surprise me. But I just also don't have the money to rebuild the desktop like I want. If I'm going to redo this, I'm going to break it down back to scratch. I'll have just a case. I'm going to rebuild from the motherboard up, and that'll probably run me about $2,000 if I do it like I want.
It always seems like on any kind of gaming forum online, people are like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting the PS5 or, maybe the Series X. I'm kind of split between the two. Someone always goes like, why don't you build your own PC? Because it costs more than a used Honda.
Where is a used Honda a good car?
It's reliable.
Well, it is quite fascinating. Like I said, I'm very excited that it's going places, and
yeah.
And one of the things we'd like to do, if we get enough subscribers and views and everything, we are still wanting to get a video capture card and actually let you guys look at something instead of just staring at our wonderfully drawn picture by CJ that you see in the background there. That's
by the way, we were actually thinking about making him Boomhauer.
Yeah, right.
Like since I'm already Dale and he's already Bill, we kind of figure he'd be Boomhauer.
And nobody's the straight man, so nobody can be Hank.
Well, I guess we could get Levi to be Hank. He's the closest we got, but
I mean, it would be kind of cool. We get another mic set up. We actually get an area where we can get two sides of a table.
I'm imagining you guys setting out like a very nice desk that says your channel name and everything you got a microphone between you, and the camera just sometimes pans over to me, and I'm at like a kid's table.
Yeah.
The legs are all uneven, my chair's rocking back and forth, man.
We'll give you some
that's
chicken
such a
fingers.
beautiful image.
Yeah, you sometimes throw food over to me.
Yeah. Like we're...
Throw a bone,
Yeah,
literally.
like we're sitting there eating like these nice Italian subs, and it's like, here's some chicken fingers, CJ.
I can
Yeah, and then you just, but we're not handing them, we're literally like, here you go, smack in the face.
Yeah.
I could barely fit the table.
Your knees are like up around your ears and shit.
Right. But no, one of the things that we would like to do, because we actually, me and Patrick, we've known each other since 6th grade. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, we know CJ through work, and work is a temporary job. So we have 8.5, 9 months before the job goes away. And you live far enough away, coming down here to help us with the podcast isn't exactly feasible.
Not always, you
I
know.
live way off in the woods, yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things of, do you hear the banjos? Yeah, drive about another 10 minutes and you might get there.
He's the American Baba Yaga.
I remember listening to Neebs Gaming when they were doing one of their podcasts, and they said it took them, I don't know, something like 2-3 years in the business for them to get really big and stuff.
Well, and you mentioned at one point they do a lot of things in like show business and stuff.
Yeah.
So they even have like connections, and it still took them a long time to do it.
But to be fair, that was also, I don't remember when they made their channel. I remember finding them somewhere around 2014, 2015. And they had already been around for a couple of years by that point, I think. So this was fairly early on in YouTube's popularity. So, I don't know. I mean, nowadays, you can't do anything without them being like, hey, look, it's YouTube!
Yeah.
So it's got a lot more exposure. Not only that, YouTube is free. So a lot of stuff that gets put on YouTube, you don't have to pay for it. You gotta sit through ads, but oh no, if it's more than 15 seconds, you can skip it.
It's essentially a punk rock platform in the sense that it's all made more or less by hand and from the soul.
Yeah.
We are opening up our souls to you in order to tell you that we love Tim Curry.
Yes. All hail Tim Curry. Is there a Tim Curry cult? Because if not, we can start one.
Yeah, there is now.
But, so, now that we are, like, almost 10 minutes into our podcast, what is our topic today?
We still don't know. Well, we kind of do, but...
So, right, so we're actually going to talk about some of our favorite weapons in pop culture.
Yeah.
You can't have a good game without some sort of weapon. You know, even the most non-destructive games like Minecraft, which is a lot about building, you still have swords and stuff like that.
Yeah, swords and axes. And
even if it's not a traditional weapon, you have something to help you. You know, you've got, I don't know, backpacks, you've got zip lines. Even though they're not weapons, they're something that has taken the game industry leaps and bounds.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of my favorite, did you guys ever play, I think it's Just Cause?
I did not, but I hear nothing but good things.
So, the two, there's a bunch of guns, rocket launchers, you know, cars with guns on them, helicopters and planes. That's all wonderful. Do you know what the most popular 2 items in that game, at least from my perspective, are?
I remember hearing something about a zip line, if I remember.
That is number 1. Can you imagine what number 2 is?
Probably some kind of pistol so you can shoot things while using the zip line.
No. Personally, my favorite weapon from Just Cause 2 is portable thrusters. So...
Like a jetpack?
Yes, but it's the size of like a softball. That big around. And they're... Just watch some of the things you can do with it. You can literally carry hundreds of them with you, and you just kind of throw them on things. Like, there is a video on YouTube I saw not long ago. The guy took them, put like 5 of them on a cow, and then all of a sudden the cow is just shooting flames out of its ass is what it looks like. It just...
It really unlocks a new level of being an asshole.
Oh yeah. Another one of the things you can do is you zipline a person, You throw a thruster on them, they shoot up, and I have a human kite.
Nice.
It is beautiful. I love those mini thrusters. I know they're not real. I want one. Actually, I take it back. I should not be allowed to have one. I would destroy so many things.
It definitely should be illegal.
I'm just saying. The next time I want to get out of work really early, I'll just shove one up our boss's butt. There you go. Just. All right.
Yeah, so what should we move on to here so you don't have a heart attack?
For me, since I tend to play a lot of RPGs and stuff that never really lasts, like I also play a lot of Borderlands, and like, do not get attached to e-guns in Borderlands. You will find a better one in like 10 minutes.
Not even.
I am really fond of the Jacobs weapons in general. But at the same time, like one specific gun, no.
Now, what is it about the Jacobs guns that you prefer so much?
Well, for one, they're actually, like, reasonably gun-shaped, you know what I mean? They're not, like...
I'd say that sounds stupid, but knowing video games like I do, remember the gun sword from Final Fantasy VIII?
Oh god, that was stupid.
I have a gun. That looks more like a sword. It's both!
Just like a lot of the Borderlands guns are like really banking on the whole sci-fi thing. There's all kinds of laser weapons and stuff. This is a shotgun.
Ooh.
This is a wood-finished shotgun. It's like kind of big and chunky and dramatic, but at the same time,
shotgun shaped.
It's just a shotgun at the end of the day.
You got my attention though.
Yeah. I love Jacobs shotguns.
And CJ just loves shotguns.
Yeah.
Just really any of them.
There are a lot of good ones. I'll have to show you a picture of one I found. It's got like the gunmetal steel finish on it, a beautiful hardwood finish, and it's rated to take down T-Rexes.
Nice.
I don't know how they rated for that, but it's rated for T-Rexes.
Why did they know that we don't?
Yeah, I mean, was that tested?
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to know, because they have it. They have little figures on the thing that like for rated for what they are. There's a deer. There's a human. I think there was like a bear. There was an elephant, and then on this one there's a T-Rex. And I'm like, how the hell? I swear to God, if you went out and killed a T-Rex before I got a chance to see it, I'm very cross with you.
At least it's not Baryonyx. I really like Baryonyx.
So we've been playing the Jurassic Park 2 game where you build stuff, and we like berries.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell them why we like berries?
Because he minds his own business.
So
like, he just kind of chills out.
So we had a predator pet. That's kind of like what I call it. I have all your plant eaters are over here in their own section doing their own thing. But over here, I have a small pen with the absolute highest level of fencing indoors I can do it. Because I put like 3 velociraptors. Because you can't have one. They're very social creatures. So I got 3 little velociraptors, and I put a Baryonyx in there. We called him Barry. Yeah. Because we're kind of stupid when it comes to naming things.
I don't know. It just seemed like a really cute name for him. Just Barry.
Yeah. So the velociraptors start attacking the fence. I think there was even a hurricane going on. So that's why so many things were going down. So they attack the hurricane, bust out, start eating people. There's a giant gap in there. I'm running around trying to trank these daggum velociraptors and get them back in their cage and fix the fencing, and I'm like, oh my god, where the hell is the Baryonyx in all this?
He is asleep.
Yeah, he was fucking taking a nap by the gate, like, when it's time to eat, somebody else.
Yeah, he didn't even leave his cage. He's just like chilling out, like, I got fish,
I'm good.
whatever.
Yeah, who cares? Just. I love that berry.
Yep, there we go. Barry is my favorite video game weapon of all time.
Even though
he is not a weapon at all.
Hey, is that a person walking by me? I could reach out and bite him, but I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, let's not.
I gotta get up, then I gotta chew, and then there's the digestion. It ain't worth it.
Barry is best boy.
He's good boy.
He is.
We even tried using the not velociraptors, but are basically velociraptors.
Oh yeah, the Denichnos.
I could not tell you what they are.
Yeah.
But I do know that them and velociraptors do not get along.
Oh no.
They killed each other. But Velociraptors and Barry? Yeah, Barry's so chill. He's like the dude.
Yeah. Barry's cool with anyone. We put him in with the Velociraptors, he was cool. We put him in with the Newmans, he was cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, Barry's awesome.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. It would have been more fun except for the fact that while this is going on, me and Patrick are literally standing in front of the TV yelling, "You stupid Velociraptor, just get back to your cage!"
Yeah, I know.
But it's like 8 o'clock in the morning and our roommate is still asleep, and then he like kicks the door open.
Scolded.
Dude, what the hell? It's 8 in the morning. I'm like, well, we normally get up at like 4 in the morning for work. I just assumed you would be awake. He goes, well, I am now thanks to all the shouting. I'm like, hey, don't blame me. It's that damn Velociraptor's fault.
Yeah, Velociraptors, man. They gotta like get out of their cage every now and then and make friends by eating them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the cool thing about Barry. He's baryonyx. Well, I don't personally know, in-game, they're antisocial dudes. Like, they don't really like hanging out with other berries.
I think you can have up to 2 in a big area, but yeah, I'm assuming unless it's mating, they just don't care.
Yeah, they just hang out and eat fish and sleep a lot and
watch Velociraptors run around, eat people, and probably chuckle.
most likely.
He ate a Karen. She was probably staring down the Velociraptor. Do you know who I am?
just Barry just sitting there eating Cheetos. It was a fun time. Anyway.
I'm imagining the Barry as you now. Just dunking his Cheetos in whiskey and eating them. Oh yeah, that's real good. Hey, there's a storm going on.
I only did it so my dog would eat it, which doesn't make anything better now that I say it out loud.
Well, your dog used to have the shakes. I used to make the joke that you need to quit giving your dog crack.
Yeah.
That's because he wasn't. He was giving him whiskey.
Yeah, I did get him drunk doing that, but
Did he shake less?
I mean, that night, yes.
Well, when he passed out and literally couldn't move, yeah, he kind of quit shaking.
Yeah, by the way, don't do what I do. Be good to your animals. Don't feed them whiskey.
Great. So, back to video games. I'm sorry, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about probably the most famous fantasy weapon of all time. The BFG 9000.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if you were getting at that. You were cool.
Yeah. So the BFG 9000 originated in the old Doom games, which came out in 90?
I want to say it was more like 92, but it was like definitely early 90s. We know that.
Yeah. It basically, Doom defined what a first-person shooter is, because before this there was a lot of top-down, or scrolling, or point-and-click adventure games.
Computers had a lot of capability, but they couldn't use side-scrollers, like Mario and stuff, and we weren't really sure what they could do. And then id Software started, making these awesome first-person shooters that actually played really fluidly. They are not much to look at these days, but they were back in the day.
Oh man, they were graphical marvels.
Yeah.
And you play, this is the game called Doom. You play the main character. His name is Doom Guy.
I feel like there just never was a, canon name for him.
I don't remember.
Maybe in the reboot he does, but at the same time, yeah, as far as I knew, everybody just called him Doom Guy.
Yeah, I could have accidentally guessed that one.
Yeah.
Right. So, in Doom, there's only, 8 weapons? There wasn't near as many as there are now.
Yeah, there's only...
You had your pistol, a shotgun, a machine gun, and then... Yeah, and then you got to the chainsaw, you got a laser pistol, I think? It shot electric balls or something, I don't remember. I think you got a minigun.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the minigun.
But the most powerful weapon in the game was the BFG 9000. Now, the BFG actually stands for Big Fucking Gun. That's literally all it is.
Yeah.
This is the biggest of guns.
Yeah. Well, and I think there actually was a real-world application for that. There was the BFR, which
Is that,
I
like,
believe...
big fucking railgun?
I guess someone over at Smith & Wesson would do, like, all kinds of crazy projects in their spare time. And,
Well, these are the
like,
same people that made the Smith & Wesson 500.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. This was in the process of creating the .44 Magnum, most powerful handgun in the world.
That's my
Old
favorite
man's
gun,
head
actually.
clean off.
Really?
But,
Do you have one? Do you have one? I mean, we could blow a hole in the side of a car somewhere.
No, I don't have one.
The way you pause and glance at me makes me think you do. You just don't want to share your fun.
I don't think... so anyways...
Get over there.
they ended up... So eventually, like, the guy who was making the Magnum rounds was like, dude, come on, we gotta have a gun that can do this without shattering it. And all the engineers were just like, if your gun keeps shattering, what is that telling you about the ammo? That your gun's not good enough.
Yeah.
And so eventually they ended up making what is casually known as the K-frame revolver, but was originally known as the BFR, short for Big Frame Revolver, which I feel like just go for it, man.
Right. Just call it the BFG. You knew
Yeah.
you want to. Is this basically the revolver that Hellboy has in the movie?
I mean, it's a .44 Magnum, so it's not a small gun, but
But I just there's did it. That's all, folks.
yeah.
I don't know where I was
It's
going.
kind of the
with
weird
that.
thing. I actually have a stutter, and it doesn't happen so much in the podcast.
Yay!
Yeah. But if we ever get to the point where, like, fans are meeting us in real life, please note, I am very stuttery, and I stall a lot, and I'm really awkward. Just
You're shy,
feed me beer, I'll be fine.
right? Just give him beer and some chili dogs. He'll be your friend.
I do like chili dogs.
He might let you pet him.
No. Nobody's allowed to pet me.
I pet you.
Well, yeah, when I'm asleep, and it's really disturbing.
You aren't supposed to know.
Don't tell you about that.
Yeah, how dare you tell you? Of course, I am a huge Zelda nerd, so I'd have to say probably out of...
Yeah.
If I had to pick the one weapon out of all the Zelda games that have been made, and there are a lot of, boomerangs and bows and just...
I like the Magneton hammer.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun from Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
and it's a great weapon. My favorite weapon out of all of them, if I had to pick one, I would say the Fierce Deities mask.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm guessing Majora's Mask. But...
yes. So it came out with Majora's Mask back on the N64, and the thing is, you go through the game. And it's a very time constrained because you have 3 days to get everything you need done. And I think every day is only like an hour in game, so you have 3 hours to do anything you need to do. So you're running through dungeons, you finally get to the boss. It's a hard fight, and I will admit that was one of my favorite things was the bosses, because the bosses in Majora's Mask were tougher than they were in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And Ocarina of Time, I felt, was a little too easy, which is
Well-
one of the reasons why I loved Master Quest.
Well, yeah, and that may have to do with the fact you just played the ever-loving crap out of Ocarina of Time.
I'll ever look
I thought it
out
was
of you.
I'm just saying, like, I played it and I thought it was fair, balanced, okay, back when I was a kid, but I only played it, like...
Once.
Yeah, I even gave up at the Water Temple, because
Ugh.
that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid.
Well,
Just
the interesting thing about this is you spend so much time, you're learning the boss's movesets, you're trying to figure out the best strategies, because that's the thing. Every temple you go to, you have a different special ability. Like in the very first temple, it's a poison swamp, and you're a Deku. You have to learn how to fight as a Deku. When you go to the Goron temple, the only way to beat that boss is as a Goron. So you have to learn how. Every boss requires not just a different way to. It's a different fighting style. It's the difference. There's a lot to it that's more than just run in, swing your sword, and go.
Yeah.
Once you finally master these techniques, you go to the final boss. Now, the only place to get the Fierce Deity's mask is literally right before the final boss. Like, you walk into this area, and you can either go left and fight the final boss, or you go right and get the Fierce Deity's mask. You can play the game a dozen times and never get the mask. The only way to get the mask is by having literally every other mask in the game. You literally have all of them. There's like 20, and
now you're the happy mask salesman.
Yeah, every single mask has a special quest in order to get it. Most of them, like probably the easiest one, is the bomb mask. You go to the park at night. You stop a robber from robbing an old lady, and she gives you a bomb mask. That's it. It's simple. But there's 20 of them. Some of them are very precise. Like there's the mailman mask. It lets you steal from the mail. I know, very weird mask, but we don't question it. And
you can commit felonies with this mask.
That's right. And the interesting thing about it is the only way to actually get the mask is you have to go to the mailman, and he's like, "All right, if you can stop me at 10 seconds, then I'll give you a hat."
I'm guessing it does not mean 9 seconds. It does not mean 11 seconds. It means precisely 10
And when
seconds.
I say precisely, I mean it better be 10.00. That is how precise the game forces you to be to get this hat.
God.
It is one of the hardest. Now, there is
Video games were so demanding back in the day.
Oh, and the best part is, unless you happen to have a cheat on you, there is an item that you can get in-game that lets you see the timer. Otherwise, you're doing it blind. It's, alright, start now, and then there's just nothing on screen. There's just a button you can press to stop the time. You cannot see. You have to assume when it starts and when it stops. If you get the cheat item, there's a little timer in the corner. Again, you're out to 100th of a second. Do you have any idea how precise you need to be for that?
Nintendo.
And once you get every mask in the game and you go to the final area of the boss, you have to go to the guy who has the mask and give him every single mask you own, and you lose them.
Nintendo.
Now, here's the thing. Because of the time rewinding aspect, you can go back and collect every single mask again. I don't want to. But the Fierce Deity mask is one of your transformation masks. You have a mask that can turn you into a Deku, that can turn you into a Goron, and can turn you into the fish people.
Oh, yeah. I forget what they're called, but
All of a sudden, if you asked me 20 minutes ago, I could have told you their name's Zoras. Zoras.
Yeah.
Zoras.
Zoras sounds right. I just don't want to commit
So,
myself.
after all of this, Link puts on a mask, turns basically into a full-grown adult with, like, war paint, armor, and a double helix-looking sword. And now, instead of having to run around and punch people, or throw your fins, or shoot bubbles, because apparently that's what Dekus do.
Bubbles!
Yeah! You now can just swing your sword and launch, like, fucking blades of death out of it. And you can go back to every temple and almost, 2 or 3 shot every boss that took you hours to figure out how to beat. This is the ultimate weapon in the Zelda universe. And as far as I know, they've never put anything anywhere near as powerful as it anywhere else in the game. In any of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I went on a rant there, but I'm really passionate about Zelda.
Yeah. But, I mean... passionate about that. But, I mean, I have a lot of passions, and I can understand that. One of which I remember you showed me this. I have a fondness for early 90s anime. I remember when I was a kid, I watched Fist of the North Star for the first time, which you probably shouldn't watch as a kid, but I did anyway. And, my mom wasn't looking. I do what I want. But,
I do what I want.
yeah, and I think it's through the fact that you know that I was really into, like, that and Cowboy Bebop and Dragon Ball Z that you were like, oh, I found an anime you're really, really gonna like. It was Berserk. And for anyone who has ever watched the anime, you already know where I'm going with this one. It circles around a guy, I guess in the manga his name was like Gatsu or something.
I don't know. I've always just called him Guts.
Yeah, well that's what he was in the anime.
Yeah.
But he carries around a gigantic freaking broadsword.
And he himself is not a small person. He's probably like 6'5", and the old terminology, built like a brick shit house.
Yeah.
They coined that term after they saw him.
Oh yeah, like, I mean...
I think he literally could shit a brick, probably.
I feel like that's just like the basic model of anime action protagonists back in the day.
Oh yeah. But he actually has two iconic weapons. He has his normal massive sword, which he carries around throughout the intro up until the big bad happens.
Yeah.
And then afterwards...
Never spoil it, because there are people who haven't actually watched Berserk.
It's
and
definitely
I want
worth the watch.
Yeah, I want them to wait until the end. It's a thing. It's a thing.
And then after this big reveal, he actually breaks his weapon trying to rescue people during the big bad fight. And he goes back to a blacksmith, and the guy goes, "Oh man, I could make you a new sword like that one, but that's gonna take a lot of iron." So Guts is like, "Oh, okay. What about that honking monstrosity?" And there is a sword, probably, oh good God, I don't even know what, probably like 2 feet wide, like 8 feet long, and it is so heavy. We're talking like 200-300 pounds of just solid iron. It's like, is that even sharp? Dude, you don't need it to be sharp. You can smack somebody and just crush them to death. He's like, yeah, I made it to slay a dragon. It was called the Dragon Slayer's Greatsword, because that's what it was meant to do.
I knew it was something really simple that'd make me feel like an idiot for not remembering it.
And it is such an iconic weapon that I mean, it's wonderful. It is literally a gigantic slab of iron that can crush anything. He's like, yeah, I built that to slay a dragon. Oh, really? Did it kill the dragon? He goes, yeah, the person meant to slay the dragon couldn't pick it up off the forge floor, so no.
Yeah, and
then Guts walks around with it one-handed like, fuck you!
Yeah, he really does just like... I love how ridiculously over the top in being macho that early 90s anime was.
Right. Well,
I mean, like, I can punch someone so hard their head explodes.
I thought that was all pressure points from Fist of the North Star.
It was, but at the same time, as a kid, I kind of interpreted it that way. Because I don't know, I was a kid. You don't really understand how pressure points and shit works. Or at least I didn't. Maybe I was just a dumb kid, but that's a really iconic weapon in anime. These hands.
Well, I mean, there's just something about great swords that spoke to us as a kid. Just, it's being very impractical, they're very heavy, it's stupid. But if somebody can wield it one-handed, you're like, I don't need to know anything else about this person. He's a badass.
Yeah.
Like in Naruto, Zabuza. The guy from, the assassin from the Hidden Mist village? It was either Hidden Mist or Hidden Water. I don't remember. But he had that giant berserk sword. The first time you see him, he's just lounging on a couch. He's like, so, kill people? Nah. Oh, that's a shame. Then he just picks up this massive thing and just points it at him with no effort. I'm like, okay, he's a badass. We gotta be wary of him.
This guy's cool. Possibly evil, but also cool.
Yeah. Not to mention, his voice actor, oh my god. I think it was the same guy that did Kenpachi from Bleach.
I've never seen either of those.
Do you remember the game that I have on the PS5 from the PS2 era? It's like, it wasn't Outlaw Star, it was,
I remember you were really into this one Gundam series, but...
I mean, Gundam Wing was an amazing series back in the day.
Yeah, fair enough.
And speaking of amazing weapons,
Yeah,
the Double Zero hand cannon. The thing's so powerful, it one-shots entire space stations.
I still like Big Z.
I mean, don't get me wrong, well, Big Z wasn't in that series.
Yeah.
And I do like Big Z. I've played some of the Gundam Wing games, and he was there.
He's always like the most powerful, or at least it feels like it to me, because I'm still kind of a child.
Right. I didn't realize how small the first couple of series of Gundams were, because I'm playing as Z. He's one of 3 starting characters you get to choose from in that game.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then all of a sudden I hear Priest, the guy who does the Gundam Death Scythe, which, oh my god, he is fantastic too. Just a lightsaber, but a scythe. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And he runs out, he's like, I'll be your opponent. I'm like, alright, where is he? And then I look down, and he's kind of hacking on my knee. I'm like, really? That's how big those fuckers were?
I don't think it's necessarily... Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily how small were the original Gundams so much as how ridiculously huge Big Zam is.
Yeah.
In a series that revolves around giant robots, big anything is kind of saying something.
You are no longer Big Z, you are now Gundam Chungus.
Yeah, he was gigantic and I loved him.
Well, I thought it was a lot of fun. Just, there are a lot of weapons. Like for you, your favorite series is Fallout.
Yeah.
What would be your favorite weapon if you had to pick one from the entire series?
Well, I mean, it's really, really good since you're probably going to get in close contact with people. It'd be good to have something mid to short range.
Mm-hmm.
And in the earlier games, Melee was just a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, as much as I love punching and whacking stuff, it just wasn't a viable option in, like, Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
I remember the first time I played Fallout 3, I had just got done playing Elder Scrolls, and I'm like, you know what, I prefer, swords, fists, hammers, things like that, and oh, look at the skill tree. Obviously, they want you to at least attempt to be melee, because there are melee perks here that's specifically for that.
Yeah, about that.
I literally am not playing I get out of the intro sequence, go to Megaton, and they're like, oh, by the way, can you go to that supermarket and get us some food? Sure thing, I got this. I take, 10 steps out, turn around, see a speck moving in the distance, and I'm like, what is that? I don't know, and then all of a sudden I just see...
Did you get killed by mole rats?
I got killed by a super mutant with a fucking rocket launcher. I couldn't even see the super mutant, but by God, he could pinpoint my ass and launch a rocket through it.
Oh, okay.
I tried a dozen times. I'm like, okay, I'll sneak around him. Nope, found me, boom. Maybe I'll just run up to him and dodge missiles and be really cool. Nope.
Yeah, Fallout doesn't work that way.
You know what? I'm going to go the super long way around. And no, apparently this one was a rover. He found me and blew my ass away.
Yeah, it is a random encounter that can happen. It shouldn't happen fresh out of Megaton, but...
It shouldn't. I think I was level 2 or 3.
Yeah,
And there's a super mutant, which first off, super mutants... I think the only natural enemy in the game stronger than a super mutant is the Deathclaws.
Yeah, and it's one of those things in Fallout 4 you can get to a point where they're both really manageable. But in Fallout 3, even if you are max level, they are a challenge. At least.
I actually have played the Fallout games.
Oh, no way.
Which ones?
Yeah, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4.
Those are the 3 big ones, yes.
Fallout New Vegas has been my favorite.
That is also most people's opinion who played all of them. That's the only one I haven't played. I've played 3, I've played 4, I tried playing 76, it did not last
Yeah.
very long.
I like it, especially nowadays, but I also get it because I'm like really, really huge on Fallout, and not everyone is.
And see, I get that too with
Yeah.
Skyward Sword. It's considered a terrible Zelda game, but I still beat and finished it because I wanted to know the story, I wanted to see the weapons, what was going on.
Yeah.
So while most people got really aggravated with it, which don't get me wrong, it pissed me off a lot. Thank you, Wii motion controls. You were garbage.
And just remember, like, for me personally, a big complaint I heard a lot was, it's just basically Fallout 4, but set in West Virginia. Okay. Where's the downside?
Yeah, if you like Fallout 4.
I liked Fallout 4 so much, I'm willing to play it twice, and now it's in West Virginia, so you get really cool terrain and all kinds of crazy monsters and stuff.
Do you think that's do you think Fallout took place after Far Cry 5 there in West Virginia?
Well, that was in Montana, for one.
Close enough.
No, they're...
Opposite sides of the country.
Yeah, just like...
What? No.
No,
What are
not-
you, fat and stupid? I'm
Yeah,
definitely one of those and probably a lot of the other.
yeah, fair enough. But, they actually did make, Far Cry New Dawn, which was... Oh... it's all coming full circle.
There you
But,
I
they-
literally just thought of this off the tip of my brain. I did not plan this. I'm sorry.
But-
Don't give me that much credit.
No, like, anyone who hasn't played Far Cry 4, skip ahead about, like,
20 minutes? How long can you rant for?
oh, I can rent for a long time.
I know. How many
Uh,
times have we had to skip episodes and go to bed because you stayed ranting for like 45 minutes like, no, this is not how the show was supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is how that happens in real life.
But no, like, just skip ahead about, like, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, just be safe. So in Far Cry 3, if you get the good ending, the entire place gets nuked.
So Far Cry 5, if the good ending is you get nuked. I don't think that's supposed to be a good ending for anybody.
Well, the bad ending involves you getting brainwashed and murdering all your friends.
You have friends in that game?
Yes, you do.
As long as Boomer's still alive, I'm happy.
Yeah, I got...
He's a dog. I don't care how evil you are, you don't mess with the friendly pooch.
Yeah, you don't understand the context. It's like...
So it's been a long time since I played like the Fallout games I was talking about,
Yeah.
and there's a reason for that.
Hmm.
In the Fallout games, I think it was Fallout New Vegas I was playing, they have a VAT system where you can
Yeah, it's
slow
actually
down.
really convenient for
Yeah.
people who remember playing the old RPGs.
Yeah, you can slow down time and like target a certain limb.
It's dope.
And I just snuck up behind a super mutant, and I had a revolver in my hand. That's all I had. Nothing else had bullets. I targeted his head and vats.
Definitely sounds like New Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, I fired one bullet. It missed. I could see him turn around, and then the camera just pans to me, and everything's in slow motion. I was starting to reload, and when you reload in that game, they don't take off VATS.
Oh yeah, it's all
Yeah,
like...
you just- I'm reloading every bullet.
And I'm just like, oh god, oh god, oh god,
Yeah.
oh god. You know,
As cool as revolvers are in New Vegas, and you can find some really, really cool revolvers in New
The
Vegas.
thing about that, though, is when he turned around at me, he had like a rocket launcher in his hand.
hey, welcome to my experience.
Yeah,
After 2 minutes of watching my guy
Just keep reloading.
yeah.
I could just see in slow motion a missile,
Oh
a
god.
missile just slowly coming to my face. Yeah.
You know what I'd like to do, just for shits and giggles? I want to go back to Fallout 4. I'm going to get a baseball bat, and I'm going to put all my points into stealth and VATS. And then I'm going to sneak up on a super mutant
Oh yeah.
and target him in VATS, and when he turns around, I'm going to hit the nuke in his hand. Just be, I've got a nuke! I've got a bat!
Oh, yeah.
Boom!
I will give you that. That was like the first time I was like, alright, well, I'm playing Fallout 4. It's pretty simple. It feels a little bit like Skyrim, and that's kind of cool. I like Skyrim.
Yeah.
Hey, there's super mutants. Oh crap, I should probably get away from them. They're really, really hard. Hey, that guy's got something in. Boom! Achievement unlocked!
You got your ass nuked!
Yeah, like, you actually do get an achievement for dying to a suicider for the first time. It's called Touchdown.
Oh.
Because I don't know if you noticed this, but, like, a super mutant suicider gets to you, he kind of, like, spikes the nuke, you know what I mean?
Victory slam!
I win!
Do you though? You're immune to the radiation, not to the actual nuke itself.
But yeah, that was the last time I played Fallout. I didn't play it again. I was like, man,
I don't
fuck
play
this
it.
game. I'm not doing this shit again.
Well, the nice thing about 4, and I love Elder Scrolls so much more than I do Fallout, but I'm also more of a fantasy guy than like steampunk or futuristic or anything like that.
It's the technical term is atom punk, but
Okay.
and you can tell I'm more of the sci-fi type, but
Yeah. But I made a character on Fallout 4, and one of the hardest named bosses in the game is called the Swan. It's it's not far from the Green Jewel of the city, which is a baseball field. Yeah, Diamond City.
And it's Red Sox Stadium. Plus, you're gonna go there in a really early mission.
Yeah, so if you streamline straight to it, you can be level 2 or 3 when you get there. If you do a couple of the
I would recommend attacking Swan
at least level 15.
Yeah.
However, I managed to do it once at level 6. And that's because I'm doing a pure strength build. I have put every point I can and maxed out both strength and con. And I'm sitting here at level 6 going, you know what? I've maxed out strength, I've maxed out con, I've got some brass knuckles. Come on, Swan, let's do squish. Instantly die. Didn't even get one hit on. I'm like, what the hell was putting all those points into Constitution for? What the heck? So I had to be smart about it, and I cheesed the game. I won't lie, because that's the thing. The Swan, you can tell where he is because he's in a pond. In the pond, there's a little swan boat, like you used to get in, and Sweethearts, the little paddle boat Swan. And you're like, okay, there's the Swan. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna funnel him this way. I'm littering the ground with landmines. I've got like 30 grenades, Molotovs, and a hidey hole because I know I'm not gonna survive. So I take out my pistol, do like 1 point of damage, but then it just stands up, looks over, and is like, oh crap! That's basically what he's like, cause he just, dude, just right for you. Have you ever seen, Mr. X from the Resident Evil series?
No.
He is like an 8-foot-tall giant in a trench coat, and I'm afraid that when he catches you, he's going to show you what's under that trench coat, and I'm afraid it's going to be nothing but him. I'm fairly certain the Swan does the same.
I actually remember in Fallout 4, like, I ended up doing some things. I don't want to make any spoilers for Fallout 4. Yeah.
The game's been out for 10 years. I think you're safe.
Yeah. No, there's like a flotilla, and you're actually there on a mission from someone. This flotilla is like a giant floating city. Like,
Cool.
There's all kinds of different platforms and stuff. There's one giant thing kind of towards the back of the whole place. There's a guy on top. He has a fat man.
Oh no.
So you have to fight through all these bandits throughout the entire, this like weird ass the bandits have made of duct tape and super glue. And
I'm sure there were some hopes and dreams in there somewhere.
which I mean fighting like heavily armed bandits is kind of rough anyway, especially when there's like multiples of them. But also you have to avoid random nuclear explosions.
Woohoo!
Then eventually you finally get there, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna get some bonuses. I
better get some amazing loot out of this.
Yeah, you get like a perk magazine, I forget what it does, and a special shotgun called Le Fusil Terrible. I probably butchered that because it's French. And a lot of people were pissed off about that, and I was just like, sick! New shotgun!
Woo! Definitely not worth all the trouble I just went through, but...
Well, for me it was because I was playing as a shotgun build, so...
I mean, that makes sense, but
yeah.
still, I just... Speaking of also amazing weapons, the Fat Man! Oh my god! The Fat Man with the multiplier thing on it. The one where you shoot one and it splits into 12?
Yeah.
Who needs to launch 12 nukes? And so, you know what? I don't like that guy. What do you want us to do? I'd say kill him, but that's not enough. I want you to send something to him that makes him see the face of God before he dies.
I believe the experimental MIRV was only 8 shots, but it's like, do you know how expensive mini nukes are?
Well, it doesn't shoot.
Like, do you know?
I thought it shot 1 and then it split into 8. Or does it shoot 8 all at once? Because, yeah, that would be a lot.
Oh, you're talking about Fallout 4.
Yeah? What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about Fallout 3.
Oh, see, and I haven't played that game as much.
Yeah, you do get the experimental MIRV, which only shoots 8 shots, but here's the thing. It is your actual ammo. It consumes 8 rounds per shot, and they are mini nukes.
Each mini nuke is like, what, 1,000 to 1,500 caps, aren't they?
Something like.
So, I'm going to say no to your entire zip code, and just know that I hate you so much, I'm willing to spend a small fortune to wipe it off the map.
Like, I could have fed, like, an entire third world village for a year.
But no, fuck you, that's how much I hate you.
But instead, I'm choosing it to spite you.
Oh, I love that.
But no, in Fallout 4, they actually like balance it out a little bit. They kind of nerf it a little bit, but I kind of get it because like, how are you going to nerf a mini nuke?
By placing all your enemies inside?
But it does, as far as I know, only consume like 2 per shot, which better.
And it is easier to make money in Fallout 4.
And it's easier to come across mini nukes.
Yeah.
Like, they really, I feel like for Fallout 4, it was wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
Like, they wanted to have it to where you could make a big gun build really easily, and a melee build.
Do you think that's why they purposefully made a, not super mutant, but the one scarier, the Deathclaw area of the game, so you could just go there and be like, this is where all the Deathclaws are, and nuke it.
Yeah.
Just make yourself feel good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, before we finish this podcast, there's one more thing I want to do. CJ has just watched Bert Kreschner's The Machine Story.
Yeah.
CJ, you are from Russia and have never seen the story. You've never heard it told to you before.
No.
And like 10 minutes before we started this podcast, I'm like, hang on. Before we do anything, we have to watch this. What did you think?
I thought it was pretty funny. I definitely didn't expect it to have that turn that it had.
Yeah, it definitely feels like ridiculously over the top.
Yeah.
But is this something that could actually happen in Russia?
I mean, it's something that could have happened. Now it's a bit different than it used to be.
Yeah.
But
Since the mid-90s?
Yeah, it was crazy back then. Yeah, that definitely could have happened.
Wow. And I mean, one of these days you'll have to come over and watch The Machine, the movie. It's supposed to take place like 30 years after his story, like in modern day, and he has to actually go back to Russia and figure some stuff out.
It's a movie based on like that story you just told.
Yeah, but it's like set after he like made a career out of the stand-up routine.
Yeah. So the thing is one of the guys he robbed on the train is actually was a normal person then, but because he was robbed, he's like, you know what, screw being the nice guy, became a huge mobster himself, and now is sending people to hunt down Bert Kreischer to get the things that was robbed from him off the train. He's like, dude, I was fucking drunk off my ass. I don't know where any of that crap is. Well, I guess you better learn real fast. Okay. Let's go to Russia and find Igor. Which one? Fuck if I know. Half the country's called Igor.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I actually do remember working at one construction site. There were 3 Ivans.
Ivan, Igor. Do you guys just really love the letter I at the beginning of your name?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because we actually don't really have the letter I. Like, say for the word is, it's just we don't have the word is at all.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, other languages are fascinating.
Well, I mean, conjunctions are just kind of. I feel like it's definitely an English thing, you know.
Well, you know,
or at
what
least like Latin derived, because I think Spanish has that.
Well, you know, they say that the English language is literally just like half a dozen languages all bunched up together underneath a trench coat.
English is what happens when you just like hang out in a back alley and like force other languages into that back alley and make them empty their pockets.
That's it. Get that conjecture out of there. What? And then the Russian comes along. What? I don't want that. Fucking take that shit away from me.
Yeah.
But
Get that stuff out of here. Just go.
So, well, we just wanted to tell you a little bit about our plans for the future, how excited we were to hear about the fact that we're getting noticed, and let's face it, talking into an empty, crowded room it's a little depressing
An
after a
empty,
while.
crowded room. I guess you're kind of right. Like, it is, like, kind of enclosed, but at the same time...
Well, it's like, imagine you're in a room, imagine you're in, like, your school gymnasium, and remember job fairs where there was, like, a dozen little places set up so that you could learn about different jobs, and you're the one guy sitting there like, hey, everybody, come talk to me, I've got some great news, and nobody wants to pay attention to you, and after a while you're just like, oh...
Yeah.
So, like, if you guys were, like, done eating the pizza, could you, like, throw me the crust?
I mean, I don't know.
To be fair, if we ever get this thing up and running like we want to, and can start making money, we actually want to hire CJ and not just be an editor, but actually be a partner in all of this.
You didn't answer his
I
question.
guess it's a no on the crust.
Oh, I thought you were talking about when we actually, if we ever start making money. I'm like, I'll give you more than crust. You're going to be doing a lot of work helping us out.
We might actually get you your own pizza.
Hey, my
one
table
day.
is over. Don't even matter. That stuff just goes rolling off.
Hey. It's okay. I will buy
I'm
a
sorry.
perfectly nice $15 table at Walmart with all 4 legs.
I'm sorry I'd throw some to you, but like I like really
I can
sprained
see
my
you putting it in
wrist.
the trash can.
I sprained my wrist banging supermodels, so I can't just throw it.
Is that actually an option? Everybody subscribe and watch now. I need to bang a supermodel. Actually, I should probably specify. I don't want to bang the male supermodel. Just in case.
I don't know.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
gonna walk away from that joke.
I'm
that
just
was
saying,
formed.
there are exceptions. If Tim Curry came along, I mean, I would be falling down at his feet. Use me for anything you need, oh great master.
Yeah,
I'll take anything that's left over.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we used to make the joke that, you know what? If I ever had to choose a guy to sleep with, Johnny Depp, but he better be dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow.
I don't know. Because, like, there's also Edward Scissorhands, and I mean...
And see, that scares me. Instead of taking my pants off, he cuts my dick off.
Well, yeah, but he's such a nice, gentle guy.
Yeah, and how many... Remember that poor waterbed? That was an accident. It was
a
only one accident. But, yeah, no, we're hoping CJ will stick around for the long haul. We're hoping you guys are going to get to listen to him a whole lot more. You guys really like him.
Yeah.
We really like him.
We really like hanging out with him.
Yeah.
And
He's a great guy. And these are just some of the things that we're looking forward to in the future. Maybe. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, just like my future when I was 20 of like being signed on to Hellcat Records.
Yeah, records aren't really a thing anymore, and neither is radio, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was my backup career, was to work in radio.
Both of which have basically gone the way of the dodo. I mean, there's still radio around, but let's face it, most people just have a Bluetooth receiver and listen to music on their phone.
Yeah, and usually like something like YouTube that they control so they can be their own radio DJ.
Exactly.
And they don't need me anymore.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. You do too. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, of course I do.
Like, occasionally you'll pass me the aux, but, yeah.
My table's broken.
No, it's not. We haven't even gotten you a table. Your table is like 2 milk crates with a cheap plastic board on top.
We'll hire the best woodworker that the Home Depot parking lot can manage.
All right. Well, on that wonderful note, I'd like to thank everybody for listening, and if you would like and subscribe and tell your friends about us, we're desperate.
Yeah, tell Tim Curry. If you're friends with Tim Curry, tell him.
Even if it's just a restraining order, we will frame his signature. Oh my god, we got something from him.
Yeah, dude. I'm down for it, man.
Right? I mean, we've never even been in the same state as Tim Curry, but I am okay with a restraining order.
I don't know. He might have, like, changed flights in St. Louis at some point.
I must go kiss the ground he walked upon.
Yeah, I could actually see that just somewhere, like, on the outskirts of St. Louis, just like, Tim Curry bought a pack of cigarettes here.
I will take all your cigarettes. All right. Well, on that note, we wish you a good day, and we'll see you all next time. Yeah.
I mean, I'll just take a topping at this point.
Oh, like a pepperoni?